Hey, can I ask you something personal? Have you ever felt it? I mean, really felt it deep in your bones? For me, it started as this quiet, nagging restlessness, like a low-frequency hum that no one else could hear. It wasn't a big, dramatic explosion. It was more like a slow, quiet unraveling that happened in the dead of night. I remember those 3 a.m. staring contests with the ceiling, the moon watching me through the window like an old friend, and sleep felt like a country I'd been exiled from. It was this constant, gentle pull on my heart, a feeling that something in my universe was just off. My whole life looked perfect from the outside, you know. But inside, I felt this cosmic misalignment, this profound sense of being a stranger in my own story. I'd be at dinner with friends, people I've known and loved for years, and the conversation would feel like trying to swim upstream in a river of molasses. The laughter would catch in my throat, feeling like a performance. I felt like I was watching myself from a distance, surrounded by warmth, but shivering with a deep, internal cold. It was the sting of solitude in a crowded room. Does any of that sound familiar? If this is hitting home for you, I need you to hear me. You are not going crazy, and you are not alone. Drop a "I feel this" in the comments if you get it. Your story matters, and it might just be the light someone else needs to see. I'm willing to bet you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? It's that undeniable gut feeling that the life you've so carefully built, piece by piece, just isn't your home anymore. It's like the spiritual lease is up, but you don't know where to move. And the most frustrating part, when I tried to put my finger on it, to name this phantom ache, the words would just disappear. It was like trying to catch mist. I'd scan my life, my apartment with its familiar creaks and shadows, the job that paid the bills, but was slowly dimming my inner light, my wonderful friends who I suddenly felt a strange, energetic distance from. Everything was the same, yet nothing felt the same. My weekends, which used to be a source of joy, became this predictable, grey loop. There was no big drama, no life-shattering event to point to. I hadn't lost anyone. My heart wasn't broken in the traditional sense. Everything on my life's checklist was ticked. But here's the thing that no one prepares you for. Sometimes the biggest earthquakes are the ones that happen silently, deep within you. And that's what it felt like. A silent, internal storm was raging, and the simple truth was, nothing felt right anymore. Honestly, the best way I can describe it is like waking up one day and realizing you've outgrown your own skin. It's like trying to squeeze into your favorite pair of jeans from years ago. They were once a perfect fit, a part of your identity, but now they just don't work. They pinch and pull and restrict you in ways that are just uncomfortable. For me, it felt like my shoulders were getting broader, like my soul was trying to sprout wings, but my old life was a jacket that was just too damn tight. This feeling of profound discomfort, I've learned, isn't a sign of failure. It's a divine signal. It's a cosmic nudge from your higher self, waving its arms frantically trying to get your attention. Of course, the world will give you a different story. People, with the best of intentions, told me to just power through it. They called it a funk, a phase, something to be medicated or ignored. I was even told I was being ungrateful. Look at everything you have, they'd say, and I'd try. I'd try to force the gratitude, but it felt like lying to myself. It felt like I was betraying this deep, soulful yearning for something more. But here's the hook, the one thing that changed everything for me. What if this awful, unsettling feeling isn't a problem to be solved, but a sacred invitation to be accepted? What if this restlessness is actually a message from the wisest part of you? A divine memo that you are on the verge of a massive up-leveling. I had to learn this the hard way, but the truth is, you are not broken. You are not failing. You are not having some cliché crisis. Those are just convenient boxes society uses to dismiss the sacred, messy, and beautiful process of spiritual awakening. You aren't lost or confused. You are being guided. The feelings are intense, I know, but what you're going through is so much more profound than a simple bad mood. You are in the middle of a powerful spiritual metamorphosis. You are outgrowing your old life. Your soul is preparing to shed an entire reality that has become too small for it, to make way for a new existence that is in perfect, breathtaking alignment with your true frequency. Just think about it like this for a second. When a snake sheds its skin, it's not a comfortable, easy process. That old layer becomes tight. It's restrictive. It literally starts to suffocate the life that's trying to expand beneath it. It no longer serves its purpose. For a while, the snake is in this incredibly vulnerable, in-between state. The old skin is still attached, but it's dying, and the new skin isn't quite ready. That awkward, transitional space, that's where you are right now. You've evolved. Your soul has done its work. Your consciousness has expanded, and you just can't cram yourself back into the tiny box of your past. But you haven't fully stepped into the glorious, empowered being you're becoming yet. And that threshold, my friend, that sacred space between who you were and who you are becoming, that's why nothing feels like it fits. Because it doesn't, and it's not supposed to. Every single part of your old life, the routines, the relationships, the identities you wore, was perfectly tailored for a version of you that is now a memory. The way you talked, the goals you chased, the things that made you happy, they were all for that other person. But here's a secret about real, deep, spiritual growth that nobody ever told me. It's not just about adding new things. It's not about tacking on a new skill or a new hobby to your old life. That's just redecorating the cage. True transformation, the kind you're in right now, often requires a complete and total shedding. It means letting go of entire identities that you thought defined you. It means walking away from ways of being, ways of thinking, ways of connecting that no longer serve your highest good. It might even mean lovingly releasing relationships and environments that once felt like a safe harbor, but now feel like they're anchoring you in a shallow bay when your soul is crying out for the open ocean. It's about finally becoming someone who can no longer pretend. You just can't do it anymore, can you? You can't pretend to care about the small talk, the gossip, the things that feel so utterly meaningless to your expanding soul. You can't fake a smile or force enthusiasm for conversations that feel like they're just skating on the surface of life's vast ocean. You can no longer ignore that magnetic pull in your heart towards something deeper, something more real, something more authentic. And this, right here, is why it can feel so incredibly lonely. It's not that the people around you have all changed, it's that you have. Your energetic frequency is different. It's like you used to be an AM radio station, and now you're broadcasting in FM. You can't connect on the same old wavelength anymore. You've developed new depths, a new awareness, a higher standard for what feels like a true, soul-level connection. And all of a sudden, the things that used to be enough, they just aren't. You stand in a room full of people, and you just wonder, doesn't anyone else feel this? Doesn't anyone else want to talk about what really matters? Your tolerance for mediocrity has just vanished. Poof, gone. Things that were once good enough or comfortable enough now feel like a direct act of self-betrayal. It feels like settling, and your soul simply will not allow it anymore. And I have to say this again because it's so important. This is not you being arrogant. This is not you being entitled. This is because your spirit has had a taste of authenticity, a glimpse of what it feels like to be truly aligned, and it can never go back. Once you experience that, even for a second, everything else feels like a pale compromise. That career that once felt so stable, now it can feel like a cage. That relationship that once felt so secure, now it can feel like you're both just playing roles in a play where you've forgotten your lines. Those friendships that were once so easy, now they might require you to shrink yourself, to dim your own light, just to fit in. And that's a price you're no longer willing to pay. This is not ingratitude. Let me be clear. This is your soul waking up and demanding more for you. This is the quiet, growing part of you finally finding its voice. It's the moment you can no longer ignore the chasm between who you are and how you're living. Now, society makes this super confusing, right? We're taught that if we're unhappy, we should either hustle harder to change things or shut up and be grateful. But you can't hustle your way through a spiritual transformation. And you can't gratitude journal your way out of a life that no longer fits. This is a sacred, natural process. It requires incredible patience. It requires a deep trust in the unknown. It requires the courage to just sit in the discomfort and allow the new you to emerge. You can't rip open a chrysalis to hurry the butterfly along. You'll destroy it in the process. This transformation has its own divine timing, and right now, you are in that chrysalis. I know it feels dark. I know it feels confusing and tight. That's because you are dissolving the old form so the new one can be born. A caterpillar literally turns to goo before it becomes a butterfly. It has to completely break down. That's you. You are not falling apart, my friend. You are dissolving what is no longer true. You are breaking down to break through. You aren't losing yourself. You are shedding every layer of who you thought you were supposed to be, so you can finally meet who you truly are. You are brave enough to admit that the life you built for your past self no longer serves the magnificent being you are becoming. Realizing this, though, it brings its own challenges. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to pretending. You can't stuff yourself back into that tiny box. And that means some hard choices are ahead. The question is no longer, should I trust this feeling? The real question is, what am I going to do with this divine invitation? Because that's what this island. It's an invitation from your soul to honor what's emerging, to stop apologizing for your own expansion, to stop trying to fit into places, relationships, and patterns that feel less like a home and more like a prison. This doesn't mean you need to set your life on fire overnight, but it does mean you have to start listening, truly, deeply listening. It means creating sacred space for the new you to breathe, to explore, to test its wings. Maybe that starts with having one brutally honest conversation. Maybe it means saying no to that thing that always drains you, so you can say yes to something that fills you with light. Maybe it just means spending more time alone, in silence, so you can finally hear your own voice above the noise of the world. And here's the beautiful part. The people who are meant to be on this next leg of your journey, they will get it. They will feel your energetic shift, and they will either rise to meet you, or they will lovingly drift away. The ones who try to hold you back, who make you feel guilty for changing, they are simply confirming why this change is so necessary. Your old life served its purpose. It was a beautiful, necessary chapter. But holding on to something past its expiration date isn't loyalty, my friend. It's fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of what you might become. But you've been preparing for this your whole life. Every book that sparked something in you, every deep conversation that opened your mind, every quiet moment of yearning, it was all leading you right here. To this moment, you are ready for the next chapter, even if you can't see the whole staircase. You don't need a map. You just need to trust that the same divine intelligence that guided your cells to form you in the womb knows exactly how to guide you into this next, more authentic expression of yourself. That restlessness isn't your enemy. It's your soul's compass, recalibrating and pointing you toward your true north. It's whispering, it's time, let's go. This takes courage. The courage to trust your gut, even when your brain is screaming in fear. But when you finally honor this call, when you stop fighting and start flowing, everything changes. The right people, the right opportunities, they start showing up as if by magic. It's not magic though, it's alignment. You're finally vibrating at the frequency of your true self, and the universe is responding in kind. You start living from the inside out. There will be moments of doubt, of course, but you'll remember the pain of stagnation, and you'll know that the discomfort of growth is a sacred ache. One leads to expansion and beauty, the other leads nowhere at all. So, if nothing feels right anymore, take a deep breath. It's not a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you are finally, beautifully, breaking open. You are not lost. You are on your way home, to yourself. The old skin has served its purpose. Let it go. What's waiting for you is more magnificent than you can possibly imagine.